Yes, hello and welcome to our third episode number 3 of Film Focus, a weekly independent film review show where we are reviewing quite a number of decent films this week, thank Christ, compared to last week.
Oh, last week was a one-off.
No, it won't be a one-off because we'll have definite bad weeks again, but thankfully most of the films this week have been alright.
They've not been too bad this week.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get onto that in a minute, won't we?
Yeah.
Getting onto that. Oh, and my notes are falling down. Oh, god damn it. Sorry, technical difficulties. We'll be back in 2 seconds.
You okay there?
Yeah, I'm good. Right, I'm Fred Black.
I'm Anthony Squire.
I'm trying to stop my notes from falling over again.
Use the pen.
It's precarious is what it is. It's not going to work. Anyway, yeah, and the first film we're talking about is Arietty, the Studio Ghibli animation, which...
It's basically The Borrowers.
Yeah, it says like inspired by The Borrowers on the front of the disc.
There's a difference between being inspired and just copying something else, but putting that to one side, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I mean, I have a bit of a weak spot for Studio Ghibli, who God, it's going to fall over again. There it goes.
I don't believe it's going to stay there.
But the Arietty was one of those Studio Ghibli things that I've got a weakness for it, and I can't really help but like it. I mean, I loved Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away,
that was good,
and all these other animations they've done. I watched loads of them with my dad or with my brother, and they are the new Disney. I think
it's better than Disney. Disney, there's always dramatic music in the background. Disney's good, don't get me wrong, but it's just really overly emotional. This wasn't overly emotional. It was...
No, I mean, and if you've seen other Studio Ghiblis before, then you'll know they don't really tend to do overly emotional stuff. They usually tend to focus on...
the actual story.
Yes, a kind of weird and creative story, and this one didn't shy away from being creative at all, did it?
It was good on the whole.
I mean, what was your general... Question, did you watch it in English or Japanese?
English.
You watched it in English? Oh, I thought you might have. Because
Did you watch it in Japanese?
I did watch it in Japanese. I'm a hardcore person.
Forgive me, comrade.
You are forgiven. They're a Japanese company, and all their previous films, even Ponyo, which was their latest one.
Ponyo?
Ponyo is a big film. It was like about this fish, a kind of fish that kind of became human and went on to dry land and like kind of made a friendship with like a 5-year-old boy, and that came out in Japanese. And I remember watching it whilst I was babysitting.
Yeah.
For some kid, and the kid like woke up and came downstairs, or just woke up beside. He was like sleeping on the sofa beside me and woke up, and he was watching it, and it was all in Japanese. Yeah. And this kid's only like 3 years old, so he can't understand a word he's saying, but he's completely mesmerised by it. And I think this is probably the thing. Even if he can't understand it, it's one of those things that it looks so good, and the ideas in it are just so brilliant. That was Ponyo, but this the default language was English. I was really disappointed with that because I started playing the film, and they start speaking in English. I was like, why? Why would you do that? I mean...
Well, that's just to increase the sales.
Maybe, but it does worry me a little because Studio Ghibli are like primarily, they do Japanese kind of cult style films, and all that their main language for starting the film is in Japanese. So the fact that out of the box the default language is English with no subtitles, and you have to change it to Japanese with subtitles.
Yeah. If
you want to be truly authentic. Or you just like the Japanese language like I do.
That's a good language.
But here's a good but the fact that you have to change it like that is just, it was a bit kind of disheartening for me. I was like, oh god, what does this mean for the future?
Well, I mean, you had a choice, but didn't you, watching it in Japanese or English?
Yes, you did have a choice, but
so you'd have to Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, I managed to change it to Japanese, so you obviously do have a choice, but you still have that thing of people who just go play, watch the film. They'll watch it in English, not know that there's a Japanese option, and that means it's obviously made with the English market in mind, which is kind of pandering to the American ways of you don't like subtitled films, because have you not noticed like any kind of foreign film that gets like a big trailer premiere in America, they usually cut out as much of the dialogue as they can. Yeah.
Oh God, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, see, I'm not. Thank God, I'm not the only one to notice this, because if you get like a big foreign film that's doing really well, like Let the Right One In a few years ago, and other films like that, there will be as little dialogue as possible in mainstream American trailers, because people are afraid of it. I guess they're
Afraid of it.
Well, it just because dumb American audiences or dumb audiences that don't like watching things with subtitles, because they can't focus on what's going on screen and reading subtitles at the same time or something like that. I don't know if that's it.
You've got me thinking of District. Is it District 13?
District 13, which is again,
You can watch if you watch the English dubbed version. It just makes it funny, because you can see the mouth of the person who's talking will suddenly close, but the voice will carry on going.
Yeah, and that's how I noticed that this film was like probably made as an English language film, because as I was watching it in Japanese, the characters' mouths would start moving before the Japanese voice actor would start talking. So it would only be like a second or less than that out, but you could visually tell the difference, and it was. Didn't really change anything. I mean, still watched it. I still really, really enjoyed the film, but it was just kind of worrying to me. It was like Studio Ghibli going down that sort of like
Well, maybe.
route.
Well, maybe it's a one-off.
Yeah.
I hope it's just a one-off.
I hope so. Yes, because they are very good. They're very good Japanese filmmakers, and they deserve to just. They shouldn't be afraid of putting it out in a Japanese language to mainstream audiences and having it.
Japanese do generally make better films. I mean, their horror films are brilliant.
Oh, their horror films are one of a kind. Yeah.
And obviously, we've seen Battle Royale. Beautiful film.
Absolutely amazing film. But we are digressing, straying wildly from the point, because we haven't actually talked about what the film is like yet. I mean,
it flows very well. It's got a very good pace to it. It doesn't waste any time with pointless jokes or just pointless emotional baggage. It flows really well. How long was it? An hour and a half?
Yeah, just under an hour and a half. Yeah,
but it didn't feel like an hour and a half. It felt a lot quicker than that. It was a really good pace.
Yeah, it did feel a lot quicker, but at the same time, it was just all the look of the film and the feel of the film. It was all just a little wonder in everything. All the little wonder, because you have that bit where there's Arietty, who's the main character, just sitting there, kind of deciding what to do, and she plays with the woodlouse, doesn't she? She picks up a woodlouse and she starts playing with it, and you have all the little noises the woodlouse makes, and it crawls up, and then she lets it go, and it finds another woodlouse, and you have that shot of two of them moving up to each other, like touching antenna and moving on, and it's got little bits like that where it's just the wonder of just the small world, because Miyazaki, and I know it's not directed by Miyazaki, who's the founder of Studio Ghibli and the big head honcho behind it, but it's that little the wonder of all these little insects and this little world that he gets to explore. And it was just I was sat there just going, oh wow, this looks so amazing.
It was a good. I mean, it was a good film overall. It had a really good pace. It didn't slap at any point.
It kept giving you new things to tease you with, and just to introduce to you. I mean, when she first goes out into the world as a borrower, essentially, with her dad, that's it's just wonderful. When they're exploring the kitchen, they go out to find like a cube of sugar or something.
Oh, that's right. The boy, the grown-up boy.
Yeah, the essential plot of the film is borrowers, and people see them. If you haven't seen Borrowers or read The Borrowers, then it's just everyone knows the story by now. And if you want like a super family friendly version, I mean, I know The Borrowers is meant to be a fairly family friendly thing anyway.
Yeah.
But if you want like a really family friendly version that everyone can get into, then Arietty is probably one of those.
Yeah, Arietty.
It's definitely one of those films. Yeah. And I definitely enjoyed it. It's one of the best films of the week that I've seen.
For me, I wouldn't take it that far. It was enjoyable, but I wouldn't put it down as my favourite.
Now, what score did you give it then?
I gave it a 6.
Oh, that's just above average, and To me, Studio Ghibli, as I said, I have a weakness for it. They deserve so much more than just above average, man. But
it was good, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was amazing. I enjoyed it, but at the end of the day, I've got to stick with the 6.
That's fair enough. I gave it an 8.
That's pretty good score.
8 out of 10. And I do stick by that because I do, as I said, weakness for Studio Ghibli. Do love everything they do. And although this might not have been like the most, it's not an original concept of theirs, as all their other films pretty much have been. Well, apart from Howl's Moving Castle, but
that was good. Howl's Moving Castle.
No, it's based on a short story, I think, by some Irish author, but I can't remember. But apart from that, they've all had original ideas, and the fact that this wasn't an original idea is kind of just knocks it down a little bit, but. It's still, I still had a lot of fun watching it. And
it was still a very good film, but as far as my standards
go. Your standards, mate? You are the B-movie king as far as things go around here.
Well, no, obviously this isn't a B-movie.
No. We could come on,
I would be really impressed if they could do an animated B-movie.
I'm pretty sure they have somewhere along the line.
Oh, I don't know, I was on the internet the other day and... Maybe you've heard of it, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh God!
I haven't seen it yet, but sorry, getting a bit sidetracked here.
We got sidetracked that entire review. Anyway, moving on to that brings us neatly to the end of that Arietty review. So 6 from you, 8 from me. All good things. So I'm making like a list of all the scores from our films, so we can have like a best or worst films list of the year.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to be the worst one, Apollo 18.
Oh, that'll be up there, won't it? Well, for me, it'll be the Change Up as well. Fuck that film, I can't.
The Change Up.
That'll be one of my worst films of the year. If nothing like horrendously worse than that comes along, that's going to be up there in my top 5.
Apollo 18 came along.
Yeah, but that'll probably be in my top 5 as well. But we'll see.
Apollo 18. Yeah, it's a really awful film, but in some ways it's set the standard.
It set the standard for the bad films of the bad films of this year.
Unless another film can do it beautifully bad.
Right. So we're going to move on to our trailers, which we start off with. We found all of these on apple.com/trailers or Empire magazine. Most of them from Apple this week. I think only 2 of them we found from Empire. So, and they'll probably all be on YouTube by the time this is finished anyway. Yeah. This is uploaded, so if you want to search them up on there, go for it. The first one is I Am Bruce Lee, which is a documentary about probably the greatest martial artist ever to be put on screen.
I love that comment in the trailer. If you haven't seen a Bruce Lee film, I want to talk to you.
I don't know who that guy was, but it was just, he said, if you haven't seen a Bruce Lee film, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to know you, and that was brilliant. And it shows like lots of talking head stuff, like Mickey Rourke and loads of other people who are like follow his philosophies and his martial art teachings and stuff.
Yeah.
And then just loads of clips from his films, which is probably a good reason to go and see it as any.
Oh, this is good. It looks like a really good documentary. I'm looking forward to when this one comes out.
I mean, there's at least like a new Bruce Lee film, a Bruce Lee like tribute done every few years. Like Michael, there'll probably be like Michael Jackson ones, but done every 2 years. Like he's of that sort of status, isn't he?
Yeah.
Everyone, but to be honest, Michael Jackson way down there. Bruce Lee's like
Bruce Lee
way up there.
Yeah.
Can Michael Jackson doesn't? They're completely different things though, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I Am Bruce Lee.
That looks really good.
I'm
really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I want to see it definitely. Next up was another documentary. I think these are the only 2 documentaries. Oh no,
there's more.
2 of 3. There's 2 of 3 this week. This one was called The City Dark, which was
this one. It's basically a documentary about the ever-growing city life, how it's becoming more 24-hour routines.
It seemed to be kind of focusing on like light pollution and how it's affecting us. I mean, it started off like, as you said, with a 24-hour lifestyle, but then as the trailer went on, it was like we can't see the stars anymore. And you go to big cities, it's like the ultimate search for like a dark place where you can see the stars. And there were people going, how is this going to affect us? In my mind, I don't think it would affect us that much, but...
Well, they were dramatising it a lot.
Yeah, there was like the kind of building background music, just getting up there.
Dramatic.
All dramatic background music. Yes. I still recommend you should throw it up there into the fan and have it spin round, and then do dramatic, catch it again. That'd be brilliant, but probably not advisable.
No.
But no, The City Dark, I'm not sure about it. It could be kind of overly pretentious.
It's going to be... The music was dramatically dramatic, and yeah, it could be good, could not be good. I'm curious. I'm going to watch it when it comes out.
Yeah. Well, we're interested about these trailers, or fearful of some of these trailers, especially in the second episode, definitely.
Which one?
You know the one, 3D.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. We just had to mention the word 3D and we go, oh god, no!
Putting that to one side.
Yeah. Our next trailer is Cornerstore.
This looks good. This looks...
Yeah.
It's a comedy, obviously set in a little shop, but it didn't overdo the emotional baggage the film's going to have. Well, not emotional baggage, the emotional drama the film's going to have. It stuck more to the comedy. And yeah,
you think like that one we reviewed last week, that Exit Strategy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to be kind of more along those lines of just being kind of really low key, just like kind of snappy punchlines or just witty banter.
The background music was good as well. Nice upbeat tune. The trailer went well.
I mean, there's not really much more to say about it, and then it looked good. Really, it looked funny. It looked funny. Which is something most comedies fail at nowadays.
You're right, actually.
Yeah, I mean, come on, the change up.
I knew you were going to mention.
I know, but it's going to go on for me for so long because that was so bad. It's a terrible film.
Change up. It had its moments. Apollo 18 is going to be the one to.
Oh, well, we'll see come the end of the year when we're still doing this. We're still doing this show, and we will be. We will be. And then not our last trailer, we got two more. This one, Side by Side, which was Keanu Reeves looking at film technology.
This one looked interesting. I mean,
you want to mention one guy in particular who was
George Lucas did not deserve to be in this trailer. He really didn't deserve to be in the trailer. It's just George Lucas. Yes, the original Star Wars trilogy was good.
Stop living off his success.
The Jar Jar Binks in the second Star Wars trilogy, or the prequel trilogy, should I say? You don't deserve to be in these. You just don't deserve any sort of credit.
You have real anger for George Lucas there, don't you? I mean, I'm with you there
because he keeps re-releasing Star Wars, like these additional scenes that weren't in it to begin with, and then you've got the 3D version, and then they'll have the 3D with unseen scenes before, and it's just like, George, stop it. I really wish I could just give Joe a call and say, Joe, could you have a word with them?
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. Joe, no one knows what we talk about when we say Joe. I'm having massive script issues over there with my script not being able to stay where that bucket's put. But no one knows who Joe... No, stay. No one knows who Joe is. Joe is your old boss at work, or old American boss at work.
Old American boss at work, and you don't mess around with that guy.
No.
You do.
From what you've described of him, he sounds like a mob boss. He sounds like he sounds like the Godfather, essentially. He sounds like Don Corleone.
The Godfather.
He sounds like Vito Corleone, essentially.
He's got memories when random salespeople would phone up and then you'd mention it to Joe and just, no problem. And you'd never hear from him ever again.
Oh, it's a dog-eat-dog world there in America.
No, but, sorry Joe, if you're watching this, we miss you at work. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, he got sentimental for a second there, look at him. But Side by Side was like taking all the different technologies that have come up of filmmaking and how people... There was that one woman who was saying, like, if she didn't know digital technology for films existed, if you couldn't make films like using digital camcorders like we've got, she wouldn't have gone into filmmaking because she wouldn't have known how to do anything. Or, it's just people like that, and... I mean, there are big filmmakers saying, I hate 3D, which was so good.
Yeah, that was good.
So there's one person who just, in the trailer, who just goes, I hate 3D. I put on the glasses and a little bit of me dies. I was like, thank you! someone else, apart from us two, thinks the same.
I think most people do. I mean, 3D. I mean, it's like 3D TVs. You have to be sitting directly in front of the TV, and most of the 3D films which come out is just a table coming out of the screen at you and going, "Wow."
Yeah, wow, that was worth the
I did
£3
love
extra.
Was it Final Destination 4? It just made fun of 3D films where the people in the film are in a 3D cinema going,
oh yeah, there's
wow,
that.
and then the whole cinema just blows up.
That's brilliant. We mentioned that on our first episode, didn't we? Because we had Final Destination 5 on our first episode, didn't we?
Yeah.
All those many weeks ago. But anyway, yeah, Side by Side was kind of... It was interesting, and definitely for Keanu Reeves to start doing documentary filmmaking is interesting.
Yeah.
You know, the emotionless Matrix guy.
Oh, Bill and Ted.
Have you heard rumours they're going to try and do a new Bill and Ted film? They've been in talks to do Bill and Ted 3.
What, get the original cast back?
Yeah.
It's like over a 20-year gap.
Yeah, I know.
Is Rufus going to be
I
back
hope
in?
Rufus... I don't know even know what happens to What happened to Rufus, like the actor. But anyway, that's the late rumour I heard, was like, you know, someone saying that Bill and Ted was going to be, you know, revamped and done. There was a third.
Number 2 had sort of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey had a really definite ending to it. So,
mind you, they could always do it again. Always just change it again. Anyway, our final trailer was The Flowers of War. The Flowers of War, which was...
Do you know what I loved about this trailer? You've got
a really kind of minor thing in it, which I'm sure happens, you know.
Christian Bale, you know, scruffy hair, a massive beard.
Massive, kind of like prison beard.
And just like that,
the beard is gone.
I'm sure the hair turns really smart. And it's just like...
I'm sure there is a scene where he shaves it in the film, and there's like this whole like getting ready for final battle or something, and he shaves it. But
I love it in the film. If he just says, "I'm just going to go into the bathroom," walks in the bathroom, the door closes, then straight away the door opens up, and he just walks out fully shaven.
Like kind of, yeah, that'd be brilliant. But yeah, this is a film by Zhang Yimou. I'm probably saying that wrong, but he's doing like Hero and House of Flying Daggers, and all these like visually beautiful, like martial arts films. And he's gone to like World War films, like China and Japan fighting it out in World War, and some story of a priest, or not. He's not a priest.
He's not a priest. I mean,
he seems to just be like looking after Chinese women, and a group of Japanese women come along as well and help out. In
a dramatic background music, it just looks like another war film. It could be good. I mean, there's no Ben Affleck, and.
If Ben Affleck stars in a war film, you just know to run away from it straight away.
Yeah, no, Ben Affleck,
no, not you. But yeah, it looked alright. I mean, it'll probably rely too much on the visual aspect of it, and it'll have all these really nice looking shots. But story wise, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know if it'll actually be any good that way.
So wait and see. One.
Yeah, wait and see. And that finishes our trailers
and brings us on to the second film.
The second film of this part, which is Drive.
I can sum Drive up. It's basically... Have you seen Transporter? Any of the Transporter films? If you haven't, why not?
Yeah, they are pretty genius.
Drive is basically a very serious... It's a more serious version of the Transporter films about a loner guy who... he runs out, he does jobs for the mafia, but obviously something goes wrong. Yeah. And I mean, it was a good film. A little bit slow in parts. I liked the ending. It didn't. The ending surprised me.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's probably what let me down a little bit. Is the ending? We're not going to spoil anything, obviously, but the ending kind of let it down a little bit. In that, Oh well, I can't say it. I'll say it to you off camera. Yeah. But I can't say it to anyone who hasn't seen it, because it is like a massively hyped film, and it's, we've watched some massively hyped films over the past few weeks, and they've been like...
bad. Well,
they've been bad, yes. Some of them have been very bad, but...
you just got to put the hype to one side. This is a good film.
Although, I do think it kind of... I think it kind of deserves the hype a little bit. It was very slick, cool, and very stylish. The background music, the soundtrack to it suited it perfectly, didn't it? It suited the mood and the atmosphere, and everything. You could see everything was very well thought out, right down to like what people were wearing. I mean, the jacket he always wears, that scorpion kind of embroidered jacket.
Yeah.
Everything just looks super slick and smart. And when the action scenes do happen, and there are a fair few of them, like they kind of gradually build up towards the end. I mean, there's that scene in the motel. I won't ruin anything. There's that scene in the motel room.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of just sets the whole film going in terms of, what to expect. But, yeah, the one thing I would say about it is the violence might... I don't know if that a level of violence was necessary.
I don't think it was a pretty heavy level of violence, but it didn't cross any lines.
No, it didn't. But it was very short and sharp, and
yeah,
you go like a whole hour into the film before like stuff really kind of kicks off, and then you have these massively violent scenes. I mean, we can't say anything without spoiling it because it all comes in the last like half hour of the film, but there is some pretty horrific stuff that happens, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, the shaking of the hands, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the shaking of the hands, yes.
Yeah, but it was good overall, but at the end of the day, I thought it was good, but it wasn't Transporter.
It wasn't... See, I don't see how you can... I mean, I see how you can draw the similarities to that, but this was kind of just a hark back to, classic kind of stylish action films that, took their time and... Well, it wasn't action, it kind of had good characters, Yeah,
the character development was good.
Yeah, and even without saying much, Ryan Gosling turns in a fantastic performance. I mean, really has very few lines in the film altogether.
That was good.
He has very few lines in the film, but you can see,
he's very good
kind of his thought process and what he's going through just by reading his face, and that's a truly remarkable performance.
I thought Ryan Gosling was good, but he just wasn't Jason Statham. Sorry.
Your man crush on Jason Statham is getting out of hand, really.
It's not a man crush, it's just... Come on, have you seen Crank 2 where his heart gets replaced with a car battery? Beautiful.
We're talking serious cinema here, oh, fuck it. It doesn't matter anymore.
No,
but yes,
film was
it's...
good. Very good character development. I just thought it was a bit too serious for its own good.
No, I thought it was just serious enough. I thought it actually had, It had the right tone for what it was. Everything fit it perfectly, and I would give it another solid 8 out of 10 to mark it for its just how it was.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, he's lower than me this week, guys. I was lower than him both times last week, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Change up, I was like 5 points lower than you. I'm going to mention that as many times as I can during this episode.
You got to let it go.
No, don't have to let it go. Anyway. I don't want to see. I'm trying to have a look at my script and see like what I haven't missed, what I have missed, but I don't think I have. No, we haven't missed anything, but just anything that I've written down on my script, like bullet points I forgot to mention. No, I don't think I have. But yeah, just Drive was. Whew,
Drive was good.
I loved it. I loved it actually.
I thought it was a bit too serious for its own good, but it was a good film, good pace, good atmosphere. 7 out of 10.
Good 8 out of 10 for me. One of the better films this week, definitely.
Oh yeah,
probably one of the best. I think this episode definitely houses the best films of the week for me.
It's a lot better than it was last week.
Yeah. Oh, flipping heck, yes. I mean, I think the highest I gave a film last week was like 7 out of 10. I think that was Super 8. I gave 7 out of 10 to Super 8, and then
Apollo 18. Need I say more?
Yeah, just like. That's going to be like... I think you're right. Apollo 18 and, for me, The Change Up have set the standard of bad films for...
Apollo 18 set the standard.
It set the standard for bad films for this year, definitely. When we come to make our like best and worst movies of this year,
yeah,
Apollo 18, like you said, will probably be down on the bottom. And
it will be.
And it will be the standard we set everything. Is there a film... This week, was there a film we've done this year that you think will set the standard for good movies, like the best of the year yet? I mean,
I'll have to come back to you on that next episode.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have a look. I mean, I've got all the films we've done on like an Excel spreadsheet so far, but I don't think you've given any film like above an 8. Certainly,
no.
So far, I don't think any, or maybe even above a 7. And no, we didn't do Captain America. in the. I can see what you were thinking. We didn't do Captain America in the first week. That was one of our preview shows. That was the one with Bridesmaids. So we can't even include Bridesmaids in it because we didn't watch that. Yes, thank you God. You don't want to include Bridesmaids in it.
And before we start rambling on, this brings us to the end of the show.
It does bring us to the end of the show. Thank you very much for watching. And tune in tomorrow. I'll be uploading it tomorrow evening. I'll be uploading the second part and putting everything on it. So cheers. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye. Ha ha.